It is the Monday morning live stream at the Thrive Like a Viking headquarters. Let me get situated real quick. It's kind of a cloudy day today. Okay, let me do the sound check real quick. It's a cloudy day today. Okay, what did I say in the sound check, guys? Gotta let me know. Okay, let me see if I can adjust this, and we will get started. So, guys, let me know what's happening where you're at. Okay, thank you, John Saldana. Appreciate the sound check. Hello, Grandma Zoo. Hello, everyone. Guys, so the topic today, fear versus intuition, okay? We're going to do the meditation and stuff like that, of course, but then we're going to discuss this topic. So I want you guys to give some input. You can do it now, and then I will read it after the meditation. But what is your thoughts? How do you distinguish the difference between what you're feeling, intuition versus fear? Now we'll go much deeper into this here in a little bit. So it's a great topic, and one that was requested from you guys. So let me know, what are your thoughts around that? How do you distinguish if you're feeling a sense of fear or if it's your intuition telling you not to do something or to do something? Yes? John Saldana, day 10 on the Master Cleanse. So you guys did it. Nice. I'm glad to hear that. Good job, my friend. Many of the people here have done the Master Cleanse, and so they understand how you're feeling right now. Fantastic. Keep it up. Make sure you come off the cleanse right. Yeah? Make sure that you come off the cleanse right. You want to make sure you make that stew. You want to make sure you boil it enough until it's nice and soft. If you got bone broth, homemade bone broth, that's actually a fantastic way to come off. And so I will, in the new Master Cleanse course that I'll be offering, that I have a whole new way of coming off the Master Cleanse that I have found over the years is a bit superior. So anyways, okay, you got the papaya and the mangoes. Good. Got it. Matias, good to see you again, my friend. Says, hey, Nate, finally could join again. All right, good, because this is going to be a good topic today. Grandma Zoo says, struggling to the point of never leaving home, Nate. Big time in trouble here. Ooh, okay. My friend, I feel you. I've been there in life, definitely. So let us see, just stick with us today and let us see what comes up. Let us see if you can find something of inspiration. You're here for a reason, of course. Every one of you has been guided to this exact situation in your life. So try to discern why, what the nugget is that you are meant to receive at this time. It's there for everyone. Hello, Kenny Green, stuck in Lodi again. Oh, yeah. Lodi, California, not Ohio. Nancy Cagle says, I've been alcohol-free for 16 months, off of sugary sweets and drinks for 6 weeks, reduced coffee and caffeine to 2 a day. Not ready to do a cleanse just yet. I am preparing myself to let go of more. Fantastic. Nancy, this is amazing. This is really inspiring to us. This is what we like to hear. Okay, so I visited you last year when I was in Chattanooga, and it was still, the alcohol-free was still relatively new in your life, but I'm so glad to hear that it has taken and it has stuck. You've stuck with it. You're past the hard parts now. You're well past the hard parts. Now it is a thing of maintenance as far as keeping the lifestyle high vibrational enough that all of those lower vibrational activities such as alcohol and smoking and emotional eating, all of that stuff, it just doesn't come back into your life. Not because you have to struggle and keep it out of your life. Oh no. But because you've raised your vibration to the point where that kind of stuff doesn't appeal to you anymore. It doesn't even come into your realm of possibilities anymore. You know what I'm saying? Because you have done the work. And so you just allow the law of confirmation to happen. And so we go deep, we go into the subconscious mind, we reprogram our own subconscious mind, no problem. It's easy to do. I've explained many different ways to do it on this channel. And then you will experience a whole new life, something that is entirely fresh and new and permanent. There's no chance of going back because you're not that person anymore. That person that was seeking to escape in that way, that person that was unwilling to sit with himself and their emotions is gone. So you're now a person that faces the emotion, that feels it, is not afraid of it, feels it, and doesn't run from it with an intoxicant or a weed or beers or food or shopping or none of that stuff, because you're willing to feel it. And as soon as you become willing, then your power comes back. Okay, now we can do things. Now you can take that same energy and redirect it to very beneficial things in your life, to whatever you want. You can build whatever you want. So, okay, good. We're getting some. Okay, Sam, thanks for stopping by, though. Says helping my mom in her garage. I'll have to catch the replay. Yes, Sam, value that time, guys. If your parents are still alive, value every second that you get to spend with them. Seriously. Make any amends that you need to make, because this show doesn't last forever. The show doesn't last forever, and when they're gone, they're gone. So really be cognizant of that, guys, and value even menial little things. You're going to spend the day cleaning out the garage with your mom. Enjoy every second of it. Seriously. Because there will come a day, when spending a day with your mom will be your heart's greatest desire. And you can't have it anymore in that way. So value it while it's here, my friends. I love spending time with my mom. It wasn't always that way, though. I didn't have that awareness. It was still like a struggle. We still had conflict in our relationship a lot and stuff. And it was like, you had to do these things. But now it's a totally different, the perspective has completely shifted away from all of that. And I see the transient nature of the entire human experience. So, okay, good. We're getting some responses from you guys. So we're going to do the meditation here in a moment. But I just want to, Val says, fear stops me from acting. Intuition feels light. I don't know, can't explain, but it's sort of physical gut. Yes, we will get into that. Good. Matias says, always a tricky thing, fear and conditioning or intuition, higher self. That's right. We'll discuss some guidelines here shortly that you can use, some questions or some, a set of, I forget the term for it. So Muddy Paws says, I have trouble just getting out the door too. Thank goodness for my birds and dogs. They force me out. Agoraphobia. Ooh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay. Graham is here. Creative Soil. Okay, great. So we're going to do the meditation, and then we are going to discuss all of this, and I'm going to read these. Okay? So this is great. But first things first, guys. We have to drop into the meditative state of mind. Spray Can Art, good to see you here, my friend. So we'll do a brief meditation where we are going to clear the mind. We're going to become present. We have each person, wherever you are, it's a different time zone, maybe even a different day, different part of the world, but none of that matters because we are all here now. In the ultimate sense, there is no time and space. So we are all here and now, like a different neuron in a global neural brain. Let us take 3 deep conscious breaths together, breathing fully in. Hold. Let it go. Again, breathing fully in. Hold. Let it go. Last one, fill the lungs. Hold. Hold. Let it go. Now, relax deeply into the experience. Relax the mind, relax the body, keep the spine straight so the energy can flow. Whatever you're thinking of, just set it on the shelf for the duration of the meditation. Allow the body to find its natural rhythm of breathing. Many of you have labored breathing and you are not even aware of it. During this meditation, just allow the body to breathe in whatever way it wants to, and notice the quality of the breath. Is it shallow? Is it deep? Do you feel like you are breathing from high in the chest? Or are you breathing from deep in the belly, from the diaphragm? You don't have to think about it, just feel it. Observe what is happening. There is no need to think of anything in particular. Just allow the breathing to take you deep into the moment. The breathing is now. The breathing is inseparable from life. The breathing is the prana, the life force energy. Every moment of your life, the breath is actively sustaining you. Allow the rhythm of the breath to take you deep into the now and into the body. Feel the sense of aliveness that permeates your body. At first, it may be a little bit dull, the sensation, but just focus. Perhaps first you can feel it in the hands, a sense of aliveness, a sense of gentle electrical pulsing. You continue to breathe, breathing in, breathing out. Feel the rhythms of the body. Feel the heartbeat. Feel the rhythm of the chest rising and falling. Feel the gravity as it holds you to the earth. If thoughts or images come into the mind, just let them float by like a cloud that's passing in the sky. Don't become engaged with them, just watch and observe and feel. Feel the body as it sustains life. The food is being digested and turned into human flesh. It is an unbelievably miraculous experience. The blood is circulating. The nerve endings are sending electrical charges, communicating with one another. There's 50 trillion microorganisms in your gut alone. Each one of them has its own life force, its own will to be alive. Feel this. Feel this inside of you. Feel the body. Every cell in the body is so grateful to be alive. This body is the vehicle by which you experience this realm. Treat it with the utmost respect and kindness. It's the greatest instrument you will ever own. Breathing in, breathing out, breathing in, breathing out. Feel the rhythm. Feel the flow. Let it happen. Don't question it. Don't think about it. Just let it happen. Feel how you are being sustained by life itself. Many of you at this point will be able to feel a very intense sense of aliveness in the body because you are cultivating these energies. You will become more and more sensitive. Until eventually your entire body will be pulsating with electrical current. And it won't stop at the body. It will extend outwards, deep into space. Let us take 3 deep conscious breaths together, breathing fully in. Hold. Let it go. Again, breathing fully in. Hold. Let it go. Last one, fill the lungs. Hold. Hold. Let it go. As you get deeper and deeper into your practice, your sensitivity towards subtle energy fields will increase dramatically. At first, you may feel like you're just kind of sitting there, breathing. Okay, well, this is nice. It's relaxing, I guess. Okay, this is good. That's the beginning stage of meditation. And you kind of, then, as you advance a bit, you notice how the mind kind of is beginning to relax because you do the 3 conscious breaths always before and after the meditation, and that drops the mind in and says, okay, now is the time. So you will notice that the mind becomes more still and more quiet. That's good. And then you will be able to sustain your awareness. There will come a point when your mind doesn't immediately wander away to other things. If you're a television watcher or a movie watcher or a TikTok watcher, things like that, then your attention span is going to be very fractured. It's going to be, you're going to have just explosive images and all over the place. Now, this is possible to reverse easily. It just takes consistent practice, and it takes cutting off the source. Stop watching television altogether. Be very selective with the images that you allow into your mind. But eventually, there will come a time when you are sustained and you can focus on, at first it will be the breath. You'll be able to, you'll feel like, oh my gosh, like a kid when he finally learns to ride a bike, how he's like, oh, I'm doing it, wow. You will be the same way when you find yourself going 10 and 20 and 50 breaths while your mind is still totally focused. Your mind hasn't wandered away at all, and you're still there, and you're going to be like, what? I'm doing it. My mind is becoming strong and focused. But that's still not the goal. We use that strong, focused mind to go deep within and to feel the inner energy field, which is the source of creation itself. And it may begin at first with a slight sensation in the hands. It often is in the hands. A sense of kind of tingling or lightness, or a sense of throbbing maybe. But that will eventually spread. The more you practice, that will spread throughout the body. And you will feel the undercurrent of life force energy that sustains your life and is the spirit that moves in all things. You will be able to have direct communion with that at any time. And it will become a source of great and unlimited power for you. Okay. Let us, so I'm going to look into the comments now, okay? So, guys, let us know, what are your thoughts around fear versus intuition? How do we tell the difference? How can we trust? You know, we hear all of this, okay, well, you just listen to your gut. You know, listen to the heart. Okay, well, how do I know if it's the heart? Or how do I know if it's fear that's been programmed within me? How do I know the difference? Well, we're going to get into that. Okay. Let us see here. So the Val says, fear stops me from acting. Intuition feels light. I don't know. Can't explain, but it's sort of physical gut. Yes, definitely. This is very good. Fear stops me from acting. Definitely. Now, there is a term that we call analysis paralysis. And it's when the thinking mind overanalyzes things. It analyzes things to the point of paralysis, where it becomes paralyzed. And this is very common with people who worry and also are full of fear, because fear and worry are really connected, very much so. So we'll get into this analysis paralysis shortly, okay? and what that entails. Chris McGuire says, YouTube gave me a commercial right in the middle of a live meditation. I know, they love doing that now. YouTube's changed all that stuff. But again, if you've heard me talk about this before, we use that as part of the meditation. Absolutely. Just observe. Just observe what is happening. Just observe, because what you experience within is not dependent on my words. That's just a guiding experience, pointing the way. But it all is happening within, anyways. So, let's see here. Okay, so Matthias says, always a tricky thing, fear, conditioning, or intuition, higher self. Yes, we have to know the difference. Muddy Paws, I have trouble just getting out the door. Thank goodness for my birds and dogs. Yes, agoraphobia sucks. Graham says, hi, Nate. I'm one of those crazy people that doesn't get scared. Living in fear is a terrible place to be. It's a prison of the mind. Absolutely. So, guys, what is really the difference? All right, you hear living in fear or living in your power or living in your truth, we could call it that. So we have to step back a little bit and we have to understand what is it living from the heart. So there is heart energy, which is intuition, and then there is the thinking mind, which is where fear resides. In the heart energy, there is no fear. And what do I mean by that? Because the heart energy is also, that's where the subconscious resides in a way, is that, especially the collective subconscious, is that there exists like a permanent record for every single thing that you ever have done or experienced or thought, every single feeling, experience that has ever happened to you has been permanently recorded in the subconscious mind. We can call it this, okay? We're just using words and labels, but it is permanently recorded there. And so this is why the subconscious mind rules our life. 95%, this is what clinical people say, and I tend to agree with this. 95% of our life is ruled by the subconscious mind, meaning below our conscious threshold, meaning below our awareness, to below the awareness of the thinking mind. Only 5% of our life is dictated by the conscious thinking mind. And this is for very good reason. When you're driving along in a car and a kid runs out in front of you, you don't have to think, hey, I don't want to hit this kid. This would be terrible. Think about all the people's lives that would be affected by that. I better put on the brakes. Okay, I'm now putting my foot down. No, you don't have to. It just bam, instantly. Because that's the subconscious mind. It's always watching. It's always alert. Even if you're thinking about some other thing, some argument you had with your friend, that kid runs out in front of that car, boom, and you stop immediately. The reaction of the body. Because the body, the subconscious, is always listening. It's always acting. It's ever vigilant. It never misses anything. And so all experiences are stored there in the subconscious mind. Now, when we are operating from the thinking mind, we are over-analyzing things. We are using the storage, all the facts and figures that you can store in the mind. All of that is only the 5% thinking mind, the conscious mind. And so the people that are more in the conscious thinking mind, overthinking, over-analyzing, they are so limited in the resources that they have available to them, because the subconscious mind draws upon all those different things that have happened in your whole life. Especially if you've had a lot of different life experiences, you have a lot more of a resource bank to draw from. So the subconscious mind is always trying to communicate with you, in the conscious mind is whispering to you, hey, do this, go this way, go that way, because it knows it has the whole huge amount of data points to draw from, much more than the conscious thinking mind can ever possibly comprehend all at once. And so we call this the heart. We call this the subconscious mind, but it's also, that's one level of it, but it is also deeper than that, the heart energy. So there's the subconscious mind of the individual. There's the and There is the ego mind, the thinking mind, the 5% mind that solves mathematical problems and engineering kind of stuff. It's very good at that. Then there is the subconscious mind. 95% of our life is dictated by that. The subconscious mind directs our likes and our dislikes and our attraction to people. All of that kind of stuff is directed by the subconscious mind. Both of those could be seen to belong to the individual. Okay, and we're talking in practical sense because ultimately there is no individual, but that's for another time. So the conscious mind and the subconscious mind belong to the individual. But there is something much deeper. There is the collective subconscious mind, which we can call the heart energy. The heart energy is the source of creation itself. It is the permanent record. It's everyone's permanent record all together. It is the substratum by which all things exist. And this energy doesn't have to think. It can't think. It doesn't think about this and that, the consequences and all of that. The heart energy, it just knows. It just knows. There's no doubt. There's no big lengthy dialogue. There is just the knowingness that comes from the heart. And the heart energy always does what it knows to be right in every situation without fail. I'm going to say that again. The heart energy always does what it knows to be right in every situation without fail. It is only the conscious mind, the ego mind, the concept, the me that has likes and dislikes. That's the only one that can be deceiving, that can do things that would be considered sin, or could do things that would bring a negative karma. It's only the conscious mind and the ego that is subject to the laws of karma. But the heart energy that comes from the deepest source of being, it knows beyond any doubt. And so if we make the distinction between fear and intuition, fear has a storyline. This is the difference, guys. Fear has a storyline. Intuition is the heart energy, and there is no storyline. It just knows. Now, if that doesn't make sense to you at this point, then continue with the meditations. It will become very clear to you. And the more that you practice opening yourself up to this heart energy, the easier, the more sensitive you become to what it's telling you, until eventually you will get to a point where your whole life is just guided by the heart energy. And your whole life is based upon intuition because you become so good at listening to it. Unfortunately, so many people try to, because we're conditioned to do this in our society, to override the heart energy with the thinking mind. Because all the advertisements, all the stuff that they are trying to do to our mind, enslavement and stuff, it's all the 5% thinking mind. It's all the ego mind. And so we are trained to override the heart energy. So most people have no idea. How do I know if it's the heart? Because they're not practiced in listening to this. You have to go within. You have to do the meditation. You have to clear the mind of the noise. You have to shut off the noise so that you can listen to the heart. And when you do that, there will be no question. You will feel exactly the right move, always. Now, does it mean it's always the right? Does that mean it always brings your desired results? Not at all. Remember this, guys. You, meaning the ego thinking mind, cannot possibly comprehend the totality of all that is, and the fact that everything is happening now already. The entire story is already written, but the mind can only access it one page at a time. And so something that the ego thinking mind says, oh, that's not what I want. That's not good for me. You don't know the whole picture. You don't yet know the whole picture. So the heart energy is always guiding you towards that which is most conducive to your awakening. So fear has a storyline attached to it. Fear is, oh, okay. So, oh no, they're gonna make us eat bugs, and then I'm gonna have to. There's gonna be no private property, and then Agenda 2030, and then what about this? Okay, so I'm gonna lose all my money, and blah 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 blah. All of that is fear. because there's a storyline to it. It's of the ego mind. The intuition, if you look deeply, once you become sensitive to it, will tell you, and that's about that same situation. It will tell you, my friend, there is nothing to fear. You are the source of all creation. You have nothing to fear. You're indestructible and immortal. Realize this, and all fear will leave you forever. And the heart energy is saying, okay, so become resilient. Condition your body. Begin training with kettlebells. Condition your mind and emotions. Begin cold training. Begin sauna therapy. Begin breath work. All of these things. Okay? That's what the heart energy will guide you towards. And it says, look, we don't have anything to worry about this World Economic Forum, what the NWO has gotten planned for us, or for us, there's going to be a civil war, or, oh, what's going to happen? This is an election year. Oh, no, who's going to, the reality TV show of American politics, what's going to happen? Blah, blah, blah. The heart energy doesn't even skip a beat. It doesn't even think about any of that. You can't enslave the heart energy. You can't scare it. It's the substratum by which all things exist. There's nothing outside of it. It's the greatest power in the universe, the power of creation itself. Realize this, and instantly fear leaves you forever. Because who is there to be afraid? Who's going to be afraid? When you realize deeply that there is no you, there is no self, separate from the totality of creation. Fear of death leaves you. Fear of everything leaves you. There's no more storyline. Who's it going to happen to? So if there's a storyline, you can be assured that that is fear. The sense of knowing, there's a deep sense of power behind it, of certainty. Guys, decisiveness comes from the heart energy, and it is a virtuous feeling. It is a magnificent feeling to be decisive. Quickly decisive, and to go with it. And you will become this way when you train through your subconscious mind and opening of the heart energies. You will become this way. So let me read some of these comments, guys. I just had to go on about that for a moment. So let me know if you want me to explain anything more about this. Okay. So let's see. Jody K says, I used to be highly intuitive and functioning at a high vibration. Then I lost a son, and that all changed. I've been struggling to tell the difference between fear and intuition ever since. Hoping this chat will help me find my way back. Yes, my friend. Yes. My heart is with you. Definitely. My heart is with you. Yes. So there is nothing that can be said that will just immediately, clear the way of something like that, of course. But you experienced being highly intuitive and functioning at a high vibration, so you know it's possible. You know it's possible. There is no negativity in going through a sense of mourning, a period of deep mourning. But the difference between the fear and the intuition would still be the same. The fear is the storyline. The fear happens to the little me. The big me, the infinite me, is connected, still with the energy of the sun. Still, absolutely. Spiritually, remember this, guys. Spiritually, anything that was, is, and always will be. So it's all there. So tap into that and feel the love. Feel the energy. Get the thinking mind out of the way. There is no fear except the fear that we think is there. So Trish says, I literally ask my higher self to guide me for my highest and greatest good when I am trying to determine if it's intuition or fear. And I do some kinesiology testing, hoping to learn some new tools. Yes, definitely. So you will, It's like the kind of thing, prayer versus meditation. You know, when I was teaching meditation at the Buddhist temple, and we would have classes. You know, college classes would come to us sometimes, or we would go to them, and the question always came up. You know, how, because it was always with like a religious university. And this would be, the Buddhism would be one of their courses that they had to take, or one of their class experiences. And so they would say, so how can this meditation be incorporated into prayer? You know, how, because we all pray, so how can we accept meditation? How are they different? And I said, what I came up with, I said, well, you know, they're not mutually exclusive. So you could see that prayer is sort of asking for what you want. Prayer is asking the universe, or in their mind, in their concept, asking a God, a being, a God being, you know, like with a personality and stuff. And so they would ask for that. I said, okay, still do that. But meditation is becoming silent enough within to receive the answer. And that always struck with them. They said, oh, okay, well, that makes sense. So they go hand in hand. They're two sides of the same thing. And this is very true. And so you can make requests, guys, especially in the beginning, when there's still a distinction between you and your higher self, when there still appears to be like a boundary. Then you can make requests to the higher self, absolutely, and say, show me the way. Show me the way. Take my hand, guide my life, show me how to live. I said this so many times when I was coming out of the darkness. I said exactly that. And I just gave myself to it until the time eventually came when there was no more distinction between a self, any self. And you're guided by the heart all the time. And you don't have to worry anymore. Spray Can says, I've been asking for change, but it's showing up in a way that I don't like. I trust that the universe is right in this situation, but that doesn't make it any easier to move through tough feeling. Very common feeling right there. Absolutely. And you're doing the right thing. So, oh man, did I go through this so many times, and resisting for so long. But yes, the change, so you've been asking for change, but it's showing up in a way that you don't like. This is exactly what we're talking about. The little thinking mind cannot possibly see the totality. It's playing 5D chess, you know, and so you have no idea the big picture yet. And I know this from my own experience over life. When I was in my darkest moments, I thought, this is just absolute misery. I'd rather be dead. I just don't, I never wanted to like off myself, but I just wanted to not be alive. If I just didn't wake up ever again, I would have been fine with that, you know? And so that was, so I didn't think any of that was going to be positive in any way whatsoever. It was absolutely miserable and bringing me to the point of destruction and despair. But only now, years later, through all the growth that had happened and all the practices that brought me out of that, do I see that that was the most transformational of all catalysts. It was the catalyst that forced me to my knees and to surrender. And then everything else opened up. The whole new life opened up. So, Bushcraft Baron says, I appreciate that distinction between prayer and meditation. Very true, and have been using a similar approach. Living by the heart has been healing for me as well as others around me. Absolutely. And it will be healing for others around you, definitely. Especially if they are still living deeply from the ego mind. You'll be able to tell the people that are very subject to fear. And they are the ones that are, you can tell, when you spend time with them, not like one single meeting, but like when you spend time with them and you get to know them, if their mind is just going on and on and on and on and on, and they talk about this, and then they'll see something and they'll start talking and talking and talking and talking like this. And you can just tell that their mind works in the same way. And they're just boom, 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 next thing, thought, fear, emotion, thought, emotion like this. And it's and so you can tell the people that have a mind like that. And so the people that I lost that. Sorry, lost that. I lost it because I saw Grandma Zeus said, "I am at that point now. Thank you for the hope." If you are at that point, my friend, you just hang on. You just hang on. Hang on and fight for your life, whatever it is that you're going through. Whatever it is, you just hang on and know that you're being guided. Ms. T says, so many answers in silence. Absolutely. The answers come as a feeling, not as an emotion necessarily, but as a sense, a feeling. It's different than an emotion. Emotion is still of the ego mind, but the feeling, the sense is much deeper than that. There's no storyline attached to it. B. Hendricks says, there is always a better day to come. There is. But when you're in it, it doesn't feel that way. It doesn't feel that way. And so people say that and you're like, okay, well, yeah, sure. But it's literally true, especially if you're guided to these practices. Now, a lot of people, this will consume them. A lot of people, what I experienced and what I'm sure a lot of you experience, people generally don't come back from that. Many of my friends that were in that time period with me are dead. A couple of them by self-infliction. And that's the end. That's the end game for that kind of life that we were living. And so that is one possibility. Not everybody awakens. It's not always guaranteed. But if you are being guided towards this, that means that the universe has something else in store for you. The universe wants to awaken. If we could personify, if we could say from the human mind level of understanding that the universe has a desire, the one desire is for awakening. To awaken to the infinite reality of love everywhere, all the time. That's what it wants. And it's going to do that through you. And so if it sees that you are a receptacle, a good vessel for that, it will direct you to those situations which are always most conducive for your awakening. Yes. Nancy says, I feel that. I was on the fence of wanting to die for decades. When I got sober, that shifted, and the intrusive thoughts of wanting to die are gone. Isn't it such a wonderful feeling, my friend? Such a wonderful feeling. Guys, it still just takes my breath away how grateful I am to be alive. And how much, Yes. So okay. Let's see what you guys are talking about. Yes, TC, you know what's going on. Says, infinite spirit goes before me and opens the way. Infinite wisdom tells me what to do and what to say. Now, if that has not yet become a reality for you, just keep repeating it. The subconscious will eventually take hold of that. The concept that you are being guided by something so much greater than what the thinking ego mind can even begin to comprehend, it will begin to give control over to that. And at first, it's control to the subconscious mind, which has all those vast amounts of data points to draw from. So it will guide you literally into the right experiences. Think about athletes or people, rock climbers and stuff, and just all kinds of things, how they just have to they're not thinking. They have to use their subconscious mind to tell them, okay, steer clear of these rocks or steer clear of, this or of that. they're using the power of the subconscious mind because it knows the thinking mind can't like analyze all these things all at once. No. So Spray Can says, thank you for helping me cultivate some space. I really needed a group meditation today. Love to you all. Yes, my friend. Same to you. Same to you. And the key is to just do the practices. When you don't feel like it, you have to have a set of practices, guys. If you are trying to replace some kind of a feeling of fear or a feeling of impending doom or addictive behavior, which leads to impending doom, all of this, you have to replace it with something. You have to, anything that you want to get out of your life, that energy field has to be replaced with something. You can't just say, okay, well, I'm going to stop drinking and that's it. Even though you've been drinking all day, every day for months or years or whatever it is. No, it doesn't work. It leaves a gaping hole in your life. You have to fill that with something. Or you also can't just say, okay, well, I'm just going to shut off the news and stop watching TV so that I'm not living in fear all the time. Well, that's great. Do that, but you have to replace that with something because there's going to be crickets. Okay, you're not going to have that stimulation. So you have to replace it with something. Replace it with breath work, meditation, cold training, sauna therapy. Replace it with kettlebell training. Replace it with cooking your own food from scratch. And I mean Viking way from scratch. Growing it from the soil. Cooking from the soil. That's how from scratch we cook here. From the soil, I mean, even before it's soil, so like as from scratch as it gets. That is an art form in itself. Learn to enjoy the different flavors. Use it as a meditation. Use the cooking as a meditation. Cook food that is sourced with pure, delicious ingredients. Cook it in a way that respects it, and then consume it as a like a carnival to your senses, and use that like a meditation. Become fully in the moment with the food, with the experience. Become aware of everything that is happening in the mind as you're consuming this. All the neurological things that are happening, hormones. Just observe all of it. It's such a wonderful dance. And this will take your time, and this will take your mind. You have to take your mind out of the state of fear. You can't just wait for it to happen. You can't just say, well, okay, well, Nate said just that fear is a storyline. Okay, so I'm just going to meditate, okay. That's great, but you need to actually like move. You got to get the body moving because the chi flow, the energy, the vital energies have to flow. The body has to move. This body is designed to move. So when the body moves, the brain grooves. Yes? Let's see here. Okay, Jody K says, do you think trauma knocks your vibrational level back down and you have you have to re-achieve it? Or does it just temporarily block you from feeling the higher vibrations? Did that make sense? Yes, it makes sense. It does not knock you back down. Once you cultivate the higher vibrational energy fields, it's like unlocking different levels. So you never can go back. If you've truly opened up the channels, you never really go back. But certain things will come into your path that are, it seems cruel, but are designed to take you to the next level. That's actually what it's for. It can be miserable and just awful in the moment. And it will never be a positive, good thing, whatever the trauma is. You're never going to say, oh, that was such a great experience. No. And you're never going to say that. And that's fine. But what it's there for is to take you to the next level. The deeper the trauma, the higher the next level is going to be. Because it all has to do with surrender. Surrender to the reality of what is. And so, no, it does not knock you back down. Not at all. It is there to bring you up, ultimately speaking. And I know that is difficult to digest at first, but it is the way. So you have to have the practices. Everything comes back to it. You have to do it. You have to, as awful as it is, life has to go on. Life has to go on. The show must go on. And so you can either wallow in that trauma beyond the reasonable point of mourning. You can either wallow in that trauma or you can surrender and rise way above the trauma, way above. And see that there was never the trauma was never any real entity. It was just a stepping stone to get you to the higher levels. Everyone comes to the awakening by different ways, different pathways, based upon your particular life experience. It's not going to be the same for any two people. And so there's no way to tell. So you have to be guided in your particular way. Some people don't need a bunch of trauma in order to be brought to this, but some people do. It's just the way it is. Don't even try to understand it. It's the reality of what is. So here we are, looking forward. Muddy Paws says, traumas have opened up levels of awareness that help me see and feel with an intensity like a superpower. Yes, this is what we're talking about. This is what we're talking about. You can, the choice that needs to be made is said, okay, am I going to buy into the storyline that I am full of trauma now? And am I going to continually re-nourish what I perceive as a real entity being my trauma? Or am I going to use that to rise above? Am I going to use the power of the heart energy to annihilate the trauma you give respect to it. You say, thank you. I know it's tough, but you say, thank you for being there as my teacher. The trauma is your teacher if you allow it to be. But if you resist it for the rest of your life, it's going to be your downfall. Jody Forzani says, I feel emotional in these conversations. I have been trying so hard instead of surrendering to what is. These convos help me remember my heart space. Guys, this is so true. And I use this analogy, but it is very much like walking uphill. Imagine a raging river and you're fighting up against the current. You're walking up against the current, battling against the current, and all the force of life is coming at you, traumas and everything. It's all coming at you, but you're forcing your way up the current. Awakening essentially is realizing that there is a flow to the way that energy moves in this life, in this realm. There is a flow, and you've been going against it because the ego mind has to go against it. Because if it doesn't go against it, it doesn't exist in reality. So the ego mind always wants you to go against the flow of reality. But once you realize it's all an illusion, then you can simply turn around and let the river carry you along. And as soon as you do that, as soon as you make that distinction, you turn and you let the river carry you, now you've got all the power of that mighty river behind you. It infuses everything that you do because you're working with the flow of life instead of against it like the ego mind wants to do. This is what surrender is. Oh, Ms. T says, I just experienced this with losing the love of my life, my soulmate, my best friend, my love, my husband. I had to sit in the reality of what is. I feel him with me daily. Yes, yes, my friend. Thankfully, you are spiritually very strong. Thankfully, you have these practices because that can break people. I mean, I don't have to tell you. So just thankfully that you have the strength because you're guided by the heart energy. This I know from you over the past several years. So, yes. Okay, Bushcraft Baron. 100% agree. I've recently broken free from traumas that cause self-destructive behaviors. Many brothers I served with in combat are just shells of themselves. I'm now free from medication. Nice. This is what we like to hear, my friend. Good job. Yes, many brothers you served with are just shells of themselves. Yes, absolutely. And this is the options that you have. Okay. Now there's little traumas, and then there's like big traumas, like I would imagine combat would be, or losing your soulmate would be. These are big traumas, or a son. These are big time traumas, and so you have the choice. You always have the choice. Am I going to let it consume me, or am I going to use it as my greatest teacher? As painful as that sounds, and as impossible as that might seem at first, this is the way. Nancy said, I sobbed during this meditation today, Nate. I hope you make a clip of it. Nice. Thank you. I'm glad that you're feeling it. Well, because you said that, I will do that. So, okay, guys. Yes, Pam says you can't go back to position you've outgrown. You can only go forwards. This is right. You can only go forwards. You don't get knocked back down. No, once you raise the vibration, it's because you didn't actually do anything. Here's why, guys. Because you didn't actually do anything. All you're doing is getting out of the way and letting the source of creation blast through your heart into this realm. The raging inferno that wants to heal this realm, that wants to awaken this realm. You just get out of the way. And it is the energy. So you're not actually doing anything. Don't feel it's effortless. You don't have to actually I gotta raise my energy, my vibration. Okay. No, it's not like that. You just step out of the way and let it shine. And it automatically raises it. It automatically raises it. Just wow, so high vibration. Oh, just wow, like a pure white light. And to the degree that you can get out of the way is the degree to which you will experience the profound sense of life and passion that comes from living through the heart. Okay, my friends. If anybody else has any burning desire, burning question, let me know. But Graham says The Chinese Farmer by Alan Watts is very good look on YouTube. Oh, I will check that out. I love Alan Watts, definitely. Definitely. So, okay, my friends, well, it has been a good talk today. I hope that brought some kind of clarity to you guys. I didn't, I knew what the topic was going to be, but I didn't, I just went with it. We just freestyle. We always just freestyle here, let the energy flow. But I am 100% confident in that because it's the heart energy. So everything that is being said is infinite wisdom and infinite spirit. We already know that. So we have nothing to fear. We have nothing to worry about. There is no such thing as fear, even though it's been overused. But the saying is very true. We have nothing to fear but fear itself. Do you understand what that really means, though? Is that fear is an illusion. And so the only thing, I would say we just have nothing to fear, period. I don't even fear because there's no storyline anymore. There's no resting place for that whole elaborate thing. What is going to happen to me and all of this? No, we just let the heart energy guide us. And we know we will be guided to the right things, to resilience training. We're becoming strong, emotional or physically resilient. Your kettlebell training, your cold training, your sauna therapy. We're also becoming emotionally resilient through the meditations, through surrendering, through having this kind of discussion about traumas, through realizing what they are and what they are not. We're also becoming spiritually resilient because we're finding the source of creation that is already within ourselves. The kingdom of heaven is already within you. That is where it is. Don't look for it anywhere else. You won't find it. It is the source from which everything emanates. Okay, guys. Oh, Jody, 13, 14 Canadian dollars. Thank you very much, my friend. Says, thank you for so generously sharing your wisdom. Yes, you are very welcome. I appreciate the contribution. Thank you, Jody, very much. Muddy Paws says, the group seems to be on the same wave today. Plant something meaningful and bright this week. Yes, guys, I love that. The group definitely seems to be vibing together today, although I always feel that way. But definitely today. It's because we can all relate to this. We all have fear versus intuition. We all have perceived traumas. We all have these things. And this is very human, very, very human. There's always loss. There's always, the guarantees in life: old age, sickness, and death. Guaranteed. And so it is learning to surrender to these things. And surrender does not mean that, okay, well, I just give up my white flag. No, surrender is the source of power. And if that doesn't make sense to you yet, just let it digest in the subconscious. True surrender is the source of power. And so Kenny Green says, next week, talk about motivation. Motivation, what about it? What should we talk about it? What element should we talk about it? I'm open to that, but let me know. What should we broaden that topic a little bit? Claire says, excellent program, Nate. Love the flow. Thank you, everyone in the chat, too. Definitely. Thank you for being here. Brian A. Ree says, kind of like the Wizard of Oz. Who's behind the curtain? Yes, definitely. Very much. Very good analogy. TC says, thanks, Nate. We appreciate you. Yes, you're very welcome. Thank you for being here. Pam says, fear equals false evidence appearing real. Absolutely. This is wonderful. I used to know another one. Forget everything and run. Maybe that was, I forget exactly what it was. But Blue Wolf says, whichever way your pleasure tends, if you plant ice, you're going to harvest wind. Whoa, if you plant ice, you're going to harvest wind. I like it. I like that saying. Kenny says, how to become motivated. Sherry, hello. Good to see you, my friend. So Nancy says, thank you all for your presence, and I deeply appreciate you, Nate. Yes, you're welcome, my friend. And guys, go to the Discord chat as well. If you want to continue these kind of things, there's one for the Garden Like a Viking section, but then there's also one for the Thrive Like a Viking section. Okay, so we can do this. Okay, there we go. Claire says sabotage is a big factor in motivation. Okay, now I'm seeing it. Definitely, we can talk about this. Okay, yeah, let's, so it'll kind of have to go hand in hand with self-sabotaging behavior, really. Okay, I'm seeing it. So yes, next week, motivation. How to become motivated, and what is motivation, really? Yes, that'll be a great topic. Thank you. So next week will be motivation. Okay, guys. Infinite Spirit goes before me and opens the way. Infinite wisdom tells me what to do and what to say. Infinite Spirit goes before me and opens the way. Infinite wisdom tells me what to do and what to say. Infinite Spirit goes before me and opens the way. Infinite wisdom tells me what to do and what to say. Stay consistent with the practices, my friend. That's what matters.